Hi, everyone, and welcome to our brand new weekly podcast. Each week, we're going to be diving into the charts, looking at previous price action and news and forecasting the week ahead. We're also going to be having a very special guest on each week from the world of trading. These guys will be from inside and outside of our JML community and ranging from full-time traders, traders on their journey to success, and beginners at the start of their journey. So just to introduce myself, my name's Joe, and I'm the founder of JML Trading. I've been trading for over 3 years now, but we will have more on that later in the podcast as we look back over the journey with my guest, and has also been on the same journey over the last few years. I started out JML Trading to give a true representation of what trading is really like, to help save time, money, and for those that wanting to learn. It's kind of just grown from there, really. We now have our own platform consisting of completely free community of experienced and non-experienced traders, all trying to make their way in this industry. And we've recently just launched our premium section, which this does have a one-off fee of a lifetime membership, which is of part of our course, which is great and for complete novices in the trading game, and sort of teaches all the skills you need to know, or if you're a trader and looking to level up. We also post up daily bread videos, looking over the previous day's price action and forecasting the upcoming day and week. For more information on this, look for the links below, hit up our social media links, or reach out and I'll be happy to help. Right now, that's the introduction stuff out of the way. Let's get down to business. So those of you that have been following me for a while or part of our community will know I only really trade USD. So that's what I'll be focusing on over these podcasts. So after we had NFP news the week before, and for those that don't know, NFP is the non-farm payroll report, which is like the key economic indicator for the United States, represents like the total number of paid workers in the US, excluding those employed by farms, and is one of the biggest movers in terms of news and shifts in the market. So after we had that, we spent the best part of last week respecting a 1 hour order block and was accumulating some liquidity on both sides of the market. Sort of come Thursday last week, we swept all that liquidity, which we spoke about on one of my daily bread videos, posting to our platform, before moving aggressively to the upside. We then delivered a discounted price from the last high down to the last our last high, down to our downside leg. We've been accumulating ever since, again, before retracing to the downside. I'm now keen to see if we can sort of look to sweep all that liquidity that we had on Friday and Monday and then push to the upside, or if we're just going to keep our bearish bias and look to make a new lower low. It's important while we're in this sort of ranging market to only look for intraday sort of setups and sort of bank your profits. And even if you just sort of hold a peanut, especially if you're in a sell at the moment, and we are looking to eventually sort of make a new lower low by the end of the year, you can sort of leave a little bit running, but sort of try and get sort of 80% of your profits banked and risk free, because we are in a ranging market and we can sort of shift to the upside or shift to the downside. So that's what I have my eyes on this week. All trade setups and price will be covered over on our platform. If you want to come over and take a look, everybody is welcome. So now over to our guest of the week. This guy I've been trading with for like the last few years now. And we're going to dive into his journey, a little bit of my journey as well, and see how he's getting on. So welcome, Costa, to the JML podcast. You're our very first guest, and what better way to kick things off than having my trading buddy, who I've been trading for like the last couple of years now. We've been through a lot of highs and lows, and we've come out the other side. So Costa, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? How old are you? Where are you from? What's your sort of like current job, life, trading balance like?
I think, I'm 33 now. Originally from London, but now living in Bedfordshire. Just say I'd started trading probably, it was before COVID, but like signals. Got introduced from a friend at work. Now before that, currently working in Tesco's on nights. I've like dabbled in quite a few things. I've like gone from hairdressing, gave that up, went into plumbing, did that for a few years, gave that up. Just never found anything that I really had like good interest and passion for. Whilst I was doing the plumbing work, I stumbled across obviously the signals and stuff, and there was a small group of us that was doing it, had no clue what we were doing.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah, putting trades in, going, oh, it's in the blue, it's in the blue. Oh, right.
So let's go right back to the beginning then. So I think it's important to have a why. Why did you get into trading? I always think you need that why that sort of like drives you and so sort of be ambitious. So you need that why. So like for me, obviously, like I was a plumber. I had my own plumbing company. I was working 5, 6, 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. And then I had my son, but I didn't want to be sort of like working that's all the day and all night. Because I had my own company, I'd come home and have to sort of do all the paperwork, or we were doing a lot of stayaways and things like that. And obviously we had like COVID and stuff come along. So we didn't even know if we'd be able to have any work, or if people wanted to spend any money, or people would let you in their house and all that sort of stuff. So that was my sort of why, really. Like I wanted to get into trading, because sort of like trading, you can pretty much trade wherever if you've got a laptop and Wi-Fi, if you're stuck at home with COVID, or if you're on holiday, sort of thing. So my why was sort of more, I just wanted more time at home with my son and just sort of that freedom, really. So what was it that sort of attracted you to trading in the first place?
Well, initially, I think everyone probably got attracted like bees to honey, I suppose, when you just see everyone, making all this money on social media from just a few clicks. So you're like intrigued by that. Then I think after that kind of went downhill with the signals, as most people do, then it was a little break, carried on with the plumbing, still like part-time with Tesco's. And then I think it was around when COVID started hitting. And then, just literally on the day of lockdown was like my last day of the contract that we had in the plumbing. And then had to go back to like doing full-time in Tesco's, which I didn't enjoy either. But that's when I sort of started going, do you know what? I actually enjoyed doing the trading, even though I didn't know what I was doing, but I'd like to learn more. So started to think about what I can do. I think I was just going through like YouTube a little bit, and then
I think that's like most people's why, though, isn't it? Like people just want that freedom, and then obviously along the line comes with that sort of money just to get away from that 9-to-5 job, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you started saying that you started out in the signal groups, which is pretty much where I think most people start out, because they see the Instagram traders and stuff come and join my group. And then obviously, like you say, you've got like your YouTube and your sort of your baby pips and things like that.
Yeah, that's where I kind of found baby pips as well along the way, and then started to kind of read through that. It was still a bit like hard to understand when you don't really know what you're doing still. You don't know if it's the right content you're reading, and because there's so many different things out there. I guess like at the beginning as well, you can kind of think of it like it filters through the types of people or traders that might just give up after signals. A lot of people would just go, oh, let's give up, and just because I'm losing money, it's not working out. Whereas I was like, no, there's obviously a way to do this, and so that's why I was focused on doing that. And same as you. Obviously I had a newborn as well before that, and wanted to be around more as well. So, and just to trying to kind of, give up that lifestyle of, working all them hours. And I decided that plumbing wasn't for me. I gave it a go for a few years. I just realized, I just don't like it. I realized when I don't have a passion for something, there's no point in going through with it. So I just carried on doing that. And then I think the same friend that got me into the signals, funnily enough, was the one that might have shown me these videos on Instagram of like the Golden Suite, which is obviously where me and you met. And just that's when I started getting more in depth and sort of finding out more, and then kind of signed up to that and started learning and just progressing there. Still had like baby pips going on, but I found that I'm more like a visual learner as well.
Yeah, like the Golden Suite is very good for that. It's very well structured. But no, like their education and stuff's next to none, isn't it? What Ryan and stuff's done at the Golden Suite's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like for retail trading and stuff like that. Like what was we there like over a year, maybe I think it was in the end. And I really enjoyed my time there. Like there was some great people in there. We did some great meetups, great education. Just sort of decided really, look, it wasn't really for me. And I know you felt the same, didn't you? Like It just wasn't how we wanted to trade. But I still speak to probably a handful of lads and stuff that are still in there. I still keep in contact with Ryan. I know a lot of people are doing quite well still in there. But
Yeah.
you've kind of just got to find your own feet, haven't you? Like of what sort of trading strategy works for you. And for me, I just wanted to sort of dive deeper into exactly why price reacts and does certain things that it does. And I think that obviously, like when we switched over from there, we switched over to smart money. That sort of gives you more in depth of why price actually moves, doesn't it? And sort of gives you that more knowledge. But it's all sort of worth it on the journey, isn't it? Like you kind of got to go through that transition stage and through that journey to find out what is best for you and sort of all that extra knowledge. I know we probably could have cut out probably about 2 years of our last 3 years of trading, but which is why I sort of started out the JAML community sort of thing to help people sort of get a bit of a front foot on having to skip out all the crap and spending thousands of pounds and hours on stuff that they probably don't even really need to know.
No, that's it. I mean, obviously, human nature is gonna be that initial, what a waste of time that was. But at the same time, then you've networked yourself, met some people. Obviously, we've carried on from there, and you just everything for a reason, I guess. So
no, that's it. I mean, I wouldn't change my journey at all. Like, I still use all that knowledge, even stuff from signals and stuff. I use that knowledge to know how not to trade. But then, like a lot of obviously, like the Golden Suite and stuff, gave me a lot of my sort of basics and your fundamentals, and I still sort of use some of that stuff in our sort of trading strategies and plans today.
I mean, definitely using the instruments and stuff like trading view and things. So it's obviously done something. And
that's it. And we did like
familiar rather than starting from scratch on smart money. Then you've got a foundation, and then just build up on that.
No, exactly. And then, so I think that what was that? That was probably about a year ago that we then switched over to smart money. It was just before sort of the Christmas time, wasn't it? And we just said, right, if we're going to do it, let's go at it sort of over the Christmas holiday and sort of come out the other side in a much better position. So I think it was sort of around sort of February time, March time this year that we started up like the JAML community, which I think just started with a handful of people that we'd met along the way that all wanted the same thing. They all wanted to trade smart money, or they were learning to trade smart money, or they'd already learned sort of thing. And now we've kind of got that thriving community of different traders. And we've just obviously launched like the premium section, which provides some of the best education in my opinion. Which kind of taken all them years of experience that we've just spoke about and knowledge and compiled it into sort of like a easy to learn course, filtered out all the stuff you don't really need to know, and sort of keep it as simple and effective as possible.
Yeah, I'd say you definitely simplified a lot of it.
Yeah, like even going like smart money is like you can sort of add in like Wyckoff and things like that, like all the different sort of labels and things, but you don't really need to know all them sort of labels and what each label means. You just need to know what that pattern looks like.
The moves it makes and stuff.
So we've just sort of simplified that into a better entry drill that you can kind of just look at and match up to your chart and know where it is and how to enter the market. So I guess I've got sort of two questions for you. One, how are you finding the community and the guys and the girls in it? And two, like what do you think of like the new premium section and stuff?
Yeah, I mean the community is always good, seems like, in these trading groups. So there's all sorts of different characters and backgrounds. So yes, it's been good. I mean the education that I've still not gone through all of it, but what I've gone through so far has been pretty good. And I'm like a guy that probably needs to be like on repetition.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I need to like rewatch and do. See, it's hard as well because I've always believed, for me, even if that does mean I've lost money in the process, but I have to trade on like the real time charts to kind of learn from the mistakes as well.
Yeah.
It's all well and good just kind of like watching and following and then maybe like paper trading on
I think we've obviously been through like back testing sessions and stuff in the past, which is great for when you're learning and things like that. But when you're actually working out your strategy and how much to put on and stuff, not trading in the live markets, it's like you don't have that added pressure. Like, would you have taken that trade? What time of the day it is? Would spreads been involved? Would there have been news coming up? like it's easy to sort of back test and sort of say these are your results. But when you're on the live markets, I know that obviously like when we've done like scalping strategies and stuff in the past where we're having like 1 and 2 pip stop losses, like sometimes when you do that in a live market, especially certain times of the day or news around when spreads are widening,
Yeah,
that wouldn't have been a strike rate, would it? It wouldn't have been we might have even taken it, or if we had, it might not have tapped us in, or it might have stopped us out. So I understand what you're saying about trading and stuff in the live markets. But
it's good to familiarize your eyes. That's what I'm like trying to do right now. Like,
yeah,
I don't say I've got where I need to be consistent wise in terms of, like you say, you don't need to know the labels for Wyckoff, but if you can spot it in the right areas and then the shift in moves and then it come back, and then yeah, it's just sometimes it can be very messy at the time and you're like, oh, and if you're unsure, it's best obviously just to stay out. So
yeah, of course, and it's always easy to see once it's gone. Oh look, it's right there, isn't it? But it's
yeah,
like I say, it's just training that eye. So what I always find is easier, obviously, which I've now started documenting in like the daily bread videos. But what I always used to do is at the end of the day, like obviously I just trade EU, but at the end of that day, I would then just go over the whole of the price action for that day, look at potential. I know you do the same actually as well, don't you? Look at
yeah,
potential setups that happened that day, mark it all out like I would be doing it as proper trading, and then like either screenshotting that and putting it into a journal, or even you don't even need to do that if you don't really want to. You can sort of just visualize it,
that's probably a good idea though.
take a mental note. So if you're doing that on a daily basis and you're taking a mental note or you're taking a picture of it and putting it into your journal, eventually them processes of just repeating, look, when it does play out, look, you're going to be picturing it before it does play out, if that makes sense. And that's why I sort of do these daily bread videos so people can then go back over the previous day's price action and see what the entries were. So if they're watching them every day, then when they do come onto the live market, they'd be like, oh, look, I've already seen that pattern before, or I've already seen that play out like that before. And your brain will just automatically kick in. It's a bit like driving, isn't it? Like you can't just get into a car and drive straight away. You do repeatable lessons every day or every few days or whatever. And then eventually now when you drive, you don't even really think about it, do you? You just
No, it's
put
not
your foot on the
interesting.
accelerator and you put it in gear and off you go. And sometimes you're like, oh,
Yeah,
how did I get here? I've been daydreaming. It's
yeah.
kind of like that with trading. You want to get into that sort of mindset of just using a repeatable process that you can just do without really thinking.
No, it's good. I think that screenshotting into a journal would be good because I actually thinking today, I was like, I keep all of the trades that I've even missed as well, just so that I'm visually looking at
Yeah,
what.
that's it. You don't even have to have entered it as long as it sort of fitted your trading plan, or maybe your trading time, or like it has that sort of entry drill that you want to enter onto a market. Then you say, right, that's that. Even if you mark it all out, put all the labels on it, like your equal lows, your equal highs, where your entry would have been, where your stop loss would have been, where you would have partial. Look at it, visualize it, and you can either, like say, screenshot into a Word document or a journal or whatever you want to do, even into an Excel spreadsheet, and just save the like the link that you can get, or just visualizing it. If you're doing that on a daily basis, then when it does come to play out, because the market does just repeat itself, you're already been thinking, oh, I've seen this before, I know
Yeah,
what's going to happen, it's going to there's going to be my trade, boom, you're in the market. So yeah, so that's another good little tip to do. And like I say, that's why I do these daily bread videos. So it's kind of, people can obviously look at them and keep them as a log, but it's also a log for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, just
no,
I
they're
still
good.
do that on a daily basis. The market does change. We are got to evolve with the market, especially in these sort of times and that at the moment. But yeah, so that's another little good tip for people to do. So I guess what's next for you? Sort of like, where do you eventually want to get to? What's your next steps, and kind of what's the end goal, really?
Well, yeah, still currently trying to find my real consistency, which I think trading wise, like I've even told you so many times, if I journal all of my trades that I either potentially would have taken, but for
Yeah,
some reason I didn't, then yeah, I know I'm probably well in the green for each month. It's the emotion, just the emotional intelligence, as they say, the EQ.
I think that's kind of like 90% of trading. I think like
Yeah,
you can sort of look, you can read up, you can watch videos, you can learn how to trade, you can mark up charts, but having that emotional attachment is definitely the hardest barrier to get over.
Yeah.
But the way like I started thinking about, look, if I've got the correct risk, if I'm only risking say 1% of my account, which obviously changes on a daily basis. It's always 1%, but it's always going to be a different figure on a daily basis. I'm only losing 1% of my account. You've got to, for your strike rate to sort of even out, to say that you, like with we do 1 to 5. So if you're hitting like a 30% strike rate, you're going to be profitable. Like, but I guess that we try to aim for sort of a 60% sort of mark. But you've got to be taking all them trades, because otherwise, what happens is you just end up just taking all the losers, or you like it's not very often just going to take all the winners. Do you know what I mean? You kind of got to, as long as it fits your plan, it's in your time.
Yeah.
Drills there. If you can just look at that trade and go, look, that was my to the T, my trading plan, to the T, my entry drill, and it's gone against me. It's just one of them. But if you look it back and go, oh, actually, I've gotten a little bit early there, or I shouldn't have done that, and that's when obviously it's just getting into that mindset. Once you're into that mindset of yes, that fits my plan, I'm going to enter the trade, then it definitely becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely working on some different type of targets because obviously I'm I'm doing nights, so I will be like sleeping throughout London session, which
Yeah.
is quite
You've done all
frustrating.
right. I mean, like you've already passed your like funded account, so you've done
Yeah,
something right to get that.
done something right. And yeah, just as I said, like, it could just be anything. Could be life at the time might set your emotions
Yeah, of course.
off track as well. So I suppose just trying to find the best times as well for you. Like you found the times London and New York. So for me, I'm already got New York down that I can do that. So I'm just thinking, well, maybe I should just focus solely on that because I'm used to
Yeah.
setting orders as well, but I'm trying to now get into the habit of getting the confirmation. So reaching our level and then a confirmation, then entry, rather than just placing an order, which it has worked quite well before where I've just placed orders in areas that I think that price is going to move from. But
Yeah.
obviously to add confluences and everything to the trade, then it's nicer
Yeah,
once
having
you
that
get
confirmation definitely helps mentally as well. Because if you've got
yeah,
that confirmation, then you know that really you should just be leaving the trade and let it run for your 1 to 5 or hit your stop loss because you've had that confirmation. You it's all down to your trading plan. Obviously, you've got loads of different levels. If for people that are trading, obviously, and setting sell limits, like we've all had to be there because of work commitments or whatever, it does then sort of stress you out a little bit more because you don't know if it is going to react to that level. At least if you've got that confirmation, it has had some sort of reaction from that level. So, in theory, it's a good trade. But like our trading, so obviously we tried to sort of hit like a minimum of sort of like a 1 to 5. So we've only really got to be finding sort of one trade a week, or if you're trying to pass the challenge, you've got to find 2 trades a month. So it's that over trading and things like that as well, which I definitely found like when I was like plumbing and stuff, and I was still trying to trade. I definitely found I was placing more trades than now I'm full time and I'm sitting at a computer and I could be trading all day. I think it's just that before I was obviously just placing loads of orders, or I was worried that I was going to miss stuff, and I was trying to do it in between fitting a toilet or whatever, and I would just jump in the van for 10 minutes and put a couple of trades on. But now I can actually afford to sit there and wait for the market to come to me.
yeah.
I place less trades now, which has actually made me more consistent because I'm just taking the best trades.
Yeah, I mean, patience is obviously key. And to be honest, like, I think it took me two trades for the first phase, and I think one trade for the second, wasn't it?
Yeah,
DJ. And I was just like, obviously, and I know this, I've done it so many times where I've just been so busy and then you've not traded all week. And like last Friday, Euro AUD, another one. And that was a confirmation. This is where it's hard for me that I need to find out which is going to work best, and will it work best for me either doing both at a bit of a balance where I'm setting orders, because obviously the first phase I think was just like me setting orders in the right areas, and then you leave yourself enough gap with your stop loss anyway. So
yeah,
but no, like obviously it's not easy even once you've got your account. So you got to try and find how if you can kind of manage a small account, you'll manage any kind of size, I suppose. So it's not
It
always
doesn't
the
matter
more
on the
money
money
you have.
concept,
Yeah,
working on percentages. But I feel like there's definite aspects and stuff you go through. Like before, we was just sort of maybe looking at all sort of different levels. Now that we've kind of introduced that, the different ranges and stuff like that of trying to get into a discounted price or a premium price and things like that, there's then only certain levels that you should really be trading from in there. So you've kind of halved your levels that you should be trading off, which is obviously all covered in the course and stuff. So I think that's one sort of help for people that do want to just set limits, that are busy at work and stuff, just waiting for them higher time frame levels, waiting for the best discounted levels, rather than just trying to trade every single level, because you will end up just getting burnt. So yeah, mate. So before we wrap things up, is there anything sort of else you want to add, or like, is there anything else like you want to say to the listeners if they're learning to trade, for example, either starting out or doing the trading? What would you reckon would be the sort of the best advice you would give them?
I would just say there's so many, but like patience is needed highly. In every aspect of this, even through learning, you're going to have days where you're like, you think that you're not getting the education, you're not understanding, but persistence and patience obviously will then build. And then as well, so when it comes to actual trading, you need the patience again to wait for the right setup, rather than just thinking, oh, I have to find a trade today. And you're just like scanning the charts, going on every single like different time frame, going, all right, that looks like no. So yeah, patience is one I'd say. And yeah, you'll obviously have many downs in this journey, and that's going to be like difficult as well, emotionally. But yeah, just have to keep improving and try and set yourself some goals and work towards them, really. And yeah, as I said, my goal is just had another baby in the summer, and I want to be around for them the same way you want to be around for your son. And yeah, leave my job.
No, that's it, man.
And yeah, if I can help other people as well, once I've got to where I need to as well, but help others along, and that's what I'll do.
No, exactly. And like you say, like that patience really is key. Like even like you say, when learning and stuff, I see so many people come in and just try and cut corners, think that they know bits and that already. You kind of just got to start from the beginning, learn one aspect at a time. Like I tried to say in my course, like I've broken it down into tiny little sections. So you do one aspect, you should then go on the charts and practice that one thing, rather than trying to do it all and trying to put it all together at once. It just, if you're cutting corners, it just doesn't work. And then you take that on to when you're a trader as well. If you start trying to get in too early or trying to rush trades and things like that, you will just get taken out, and then the trade will go your way once, as soon as it's hit that stop loss.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're going to have a lot of doubters in your life who just don't understand what you're trying to do, and that's fine. You just have to ignore the noise and
exactly,
and believe what you want to do, and that's what I'm doing.
Everyone will tell you that it's gambling or it's a con or all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that's fine. I go, that's totally fine. If you want to understand it, then I'll explain to you. If not, then that's fine. But
exactly,
I know what I'm doing, and
no, exactly. Yeah, I've had all the same, mate, like over the last few years and stuff. But now, obviously, I'm sort of, I work from home or trade from home all the time, and
yeah, it's weird.
That's when people more start to understand it, and they're actually quite appreciative after a while. So
yeah, I've still got a couple of months left because we did set them goals last year, didn't we, around December? And obviously, this is what I mean. Everyone's on a different path, and it's
yeah, of course.
It's best not to compare yourself to others and just trust your process, and you'll get there when it's your time.
Well, this sort of time last year, we sort of set some goals that by this sort of Christmas, we wanted to try and learn smart money and be doing quite well from it. You've now gone and got yourself a funded account sort of thing. I'm sort of now sort of trading sort of full time and stuff. So we kind of have achieved them goals. So
yeah,
we have to hook up and write some more down for next year. So, but I won't take any more time with you, mate.
All right.
I appreciate it so much, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Cheers.
That was Costa, a great guy on his way to success. Like myself, he's been through some low times in this industry and stuck at it, and is now on his way to becoming a full-time trader with a funded account. Really enjoyed our chat and hope you've taken some value from it. It's kind of why I started this podcast, and have these guests on so people can relate to them and relate to where they are in their sort of trading journey, because it is a journey you have to go through. Don't cut any corners, knuckle down, learn all the content, the ins and the outs, and most important of all, enjoy it. you have to love what you do, and you have to have that passion to be a trader and be successful in this industry. So on that note, guys, we're going to wrap things up for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and tune in next week as we have another bombshell of a guest for you. Until then, trade safe.